Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet. Wait a minute, I tell you. You ain't heard nothing.
Hello and welcome to a not so recent reads. In December, apart from the Green Gauntlet by R.F. Delderfield, which I reported on in my last video, I also read 9 other novels. The first was The Heretics Daughter by Kathleen Kent. This novel was about the Salem witch trials of 1692. The young girls who gave evidence in the trial, if I can call it that, were in the grip of hysteria and acted up as if under the control of satanic possession. They were utterly disgraceful, but what was even more disgraceful were the judges, who were superstitious fools for countenancing such nonsense. I thought it was interesting, if alarming, and I rated it as B. The next novel I read was The Vesuvius Club by Mark Gatiss. This novel is about Lucifer Box, the darling of the Edwardian belle monde, society's most fashionable portrait painter, who is also a wit, a dandy, a rake, the guest all hostesses must have. But few know that Lucifer Box is also His Majesty's most accomplished and daring secret agent. Beneath London's facade of imperial grandeur seethes an underworld of crazed anarchists, murder and despicable vice, and Box is at home in both. And so, of course, when Britain's most prominent scientists begin turning up dead, there is only one man his country can turn to. Lucifer Box ruthlessly deduces and seduces his way from his elegant townhouse at number 9 Downing Street, all his father left him, to private stews of London and the seediest, most colourful back alleys of Italy in search of the mighty secret society that may hold the fate of the world in its claw-like hands, the Vesuvius Club. This sounds as though it ought to be an excellent read, but I found that as an attempt at imitating an Oscar Wilde decadence, it was merely okay. Therefore, my rating for this novel is C. I next read Isolde, Queen of the Western Isles by Rosalind Miles. Only daughter of Ireland's ruling queen, Isolde has always known that she will take over the rule of the sacred islands of the West when her time comes. Until then, she practices her skills as a healer and struggles to hold back her mother, a passionate, headstrong woman, under the sway of her champion, Sir Marhaus, who is determined to make war. Attacking Cornwall, Sir Marhaus wounds the king's nephew, Sir Tristan of Lyonesse, so badly that he can only be saved by Isolde, the most noted healer of the Isles. And when the King of Cornwall decides to marry Isolde, unaware of the young couple's growing love, the stage is set for the mythic tale of star-crossed lovers that the world knows so well. Like Arthur's Queen Guinevere, her friend from their girlhood days on Avalon, Isolde is fated to a lifelong struggle between duty and desire before finding peace. Tristan too relies on his dearest friend at the Round Table, Sir Lancelot of the Lake, as he strives to balance his law to do his king against the dictates of his heart. Set in Ireland, Cornwall and Camelot, Isolde offers a new version of the familiar legend, rich in Celtic magic and mythology, yet firmly grounded in the well-loved Arthurian world. I found this a bit airy-fairy for my taste, but it was an okay read and my rating is B. Next I read Farewell the Tranquil Mind by R.F. Delderfield. This novel is set during the period of the French Revolution in the 18th century. The protagonist, David Treloar, leaves his desolated home on the Devonshire coast and makes his way to revolutionary France. There he sees the revolution for what it is, a many-headed monster that has obliterated the reason for its existence. It is there that he falls in love with the niece of an old Parisian wigmaker. The young lovers, threatened with danger, escape and arrive in England, only for David, ironically, to be suspected as a French spy. I found this to be an excellent, involving story by a superb writer, and my rating for this novel is A. Then I read The Last Empress by Anqing Min. At the end of the 19th century, China comes under foreign attacks and local rebellions. The only constant is the power wielded by one woman, Su Ci, also known as Empress Orchid, who must face the perilous condition of her empire and devastating personal losses. This novel is a sequel to the best-selling Empress Orchid, which I haven't read. Anqing Min brings to life one of the most important figures in Chinese history, a very human leader who sacrifices all she has to protect both those she loves and her doomed empire. I found this novel to be quite interesting, and my rating is B. I then read The Bastard by John Jakes, which is book one of the Kent family saga. Philip Chauvenot is the illegitimate son and unrecognised heir of the Duke of Kentland. Upon the Duke's death, Philippe is denied his birthright and left to build a life of his own. Seeking all that the New World promises, he leaves London for America, shedding his past and preparing for the future by changing his name to Philip Kent. He arrives at the brink of the American Revolution, which tests his allegiances in ways he never imagined. This first volume of John Jakes' Kent Family Chronicles is highly addictive, so I'm glad that I bought the first 3 volumes in a bind-up and have subsequently also acquired the 4th volume. This is brilliant historical fiction by a superb writer, and I highly recommend these books. My rating for this novel is A. The final novel I read in December was Une Vie, or A Woman's Life, by Guy de Maupassant. The most popular and perhaps the greatest of Maupassant's full-length novels, Une Vie is the story of the unfortunate Jean, a Norman gentlewoman. The book begins with her returning home after 5 years in a convent. She's aged 17 and is happy to be returning to the Poplars, the home of her loving parents. Little by little she'll become an adult and create a family. Avarice and lechery, cruelty and greed conspire against Jean wherever she goes. Her husband turns out to be a lascivious bore, her son a heedless spendthrift. In the end, she's forced to sell her old family house just to stay alive. What happens next in this brilliant and powerfully written novel is worth the time to find out. I highly recommend this excellent novel, and my rating is, of course, A. And now, here's a quick recap, and I'll be back soon with another BookTube video.
Goodbye.